Well, I think resilience is a very, very necessary quality. There's no question about it. I mean, the ability to believe enough in yourself that you can just pick yourself up again after you've been knocked down, you've lost an election, you've lost something hasn't happened the way you wanted it to go, you've suffered a setback in your career, the job path that you're on. And I think that's really where it comes down to the key word for me is well, I guess there's a few things, but one of them is perspective, mental perspective. And I think I'm very open with my co-workers now when I talk to them and say, look, from the moment I went through it, 50 years ago, I was going through a very serious period of anxiety and depression in my life as a young, very relatively young man in my early 20s. And I was really in a valley. I couldn't work effectively. I couldn't relate to other people well. I was, I kept a little notebook at the time, and the script in the notebook is very, very tiny and scratchy, and clearly my whole sort of sense of myself was very inward looking and not happy. But would say not happy is not describe it, because depression is not about happy or unhappy. It's some other mode that you're in, and the anxiety attacks were really strong. So how did I get out of that? Well, with a lot of help, frankly, with a lot of help from friends, with help from therapy, and help from family, and everybody being very understanding and really trying to help me come to grips with the fact that I was being really hard on myself. And that it wasn't anybody else being hard on me. It wasn't like, you project onto your parents, you project onto someone else, so you project onto a situation. And one of the signs of mental illness, I think, is an inability to understand that actually this is about you. This is about me. It's not about what somebody else is doing to me. It's about what I'm doing to myself. And it takes a long time to get through that. And I was lucky enough to go through it, and to go through it at a young age. And at an age when I think it really strengthened me, because although coming out of it took time, and I don't think you ever say I'm quote cured, because I think that's a wrong way of looking at it. It's all about it being on a sort of on a spectrum, and you're moving out of a bad zone into a better zone, and then it gets better. But if you don't want it to go too crazy, because then you flip right back again. So I think that's helped me, and it may sound strange to be as open about it, but I really think it's important for people who are in leadership positions to admit that frailty and failure are part of life, and therefore you have to be kind to yourself. Above all, you have to be kind to yourself about that experience and understand it better. And so that's for mental resilience. And character resilience, and also understanding that virtue is important, but it's also should never go to the point of expecting yourself to be perfect. And one of the things that I've noticed in people that I encourage or try to help or try to encourage them to do better at what they're doing, or to deal with some dysfunction that's happening in their life or in the office or something. One of the things that I notice a lot is perfection really is a monkey on our back. It's a really bad monkey, because it drives us to want to do things and be things that we can't be. And it's not a good thing. Somebody says I'm a perfectionist, I just say, uh-oh, I'm really worried, because it doesn't work. The other thing is humor. And I think, and music, and the ability to enjoy something else, the ability to play. Can you play at something? Can you play at whether it's golf or tennis or checkers or Wordle or whatever? Can you just play? Can you for a few moments of a day just be idle and have fun like a kid, like be a child? And that's really important. I think we very rarely do we give ourselves the opportunity. I mean, I know there are many people who say, "Oh, I like to play," but the way they play is like not playing. They're competitive. They want to win. They throw their golf club. They smash their tennis racket. Whatever. I mean, you sort of say that's not playing. That's what you do all the time. But joking, laughing, telling jokes, listening to jokes, watching things that make you laugh, hugely important. And I've had the luck of growing up in a very musical family. My father particularly was a wonderful musician, and I associate so many good things with my childhood with singing and listening and playing songs, playing the piano and listening to other music and dancing, all that stuff. And I still do. I still like to dance. I still like to listen to music and get a lot of pleasure out of it. So I think those things all help build resilience, plus staying in reasonable shape. I'm, like everybody of my age, I'm a few pounds overweight, but I try to stay healthy as humanly possible without giving up too many of the pleasures of life.